And is the return man for the Blue Goals, Joe Leinfelder. So Aquinas, with pretty good field position to start this football game, they will go from the 36-yard line. A 1st and 10 situation with sophomore Tom Finn at the quarterback position. Behind him, he has the number 1 and 2 rushers in the conference, as Mickey mentioned at the introduction of the starting lineups, Joe Peterson and Steve Petronic. They line up in the I behind him. Petronic, the fullback. In motion goes Kevin Connolly. He will flank out to the right side. Now they have a slot right formation. The handoff goes to Petronic. He's hit at the 38-yard line. Picked up maybe a yard on the play. Not much that time for Steve Petronic. And it'll be 2nd down and about 9 yards to go from the 38. Don stacked it up well.
Well, the Dons are coming out and playing a good, tough defense, and they have been playing good, tough defense throughout the season, and we can expect that all evening long.
Back split behind the quarterback, Finn, and he will belly to the right and hit immediately as Petronic as he tried to go off right tackle, and it was Kevin Hammond storming through to make the stop, and it'll be 3rd down and 9 yards to go. No gain on the play.
I think he may have lost a little bit of yardage on that, but we'll holler at that at this time. So, the Columbus boys are fired up. They want this game very, very badly. They can see going to state by winning this game here tonight.
Well, you can hear the crowd behind them, too. Connolly goes in motion. He'll set up in a slot right formation. Back split behind the sophomore Finn. Stumbles a bit going out back to pass. Pressures on. Horvath brings him down at the 36-yard line as Finn forced to run out of the pocket. Will be dropped for a 2-yard loss, and it'll be 4th and 11 at the 36-yard line, and the Aquinas Blue Goals are going to have to kick the football away.
You mentioned the crowd noise. You have a big group of parents that follow these games. I shouldn't say parents, I should say alumni of Columbus, because an awful lot of these folks just come in game after game and do a lot of hollering.
Chris Servais gets the kick off, and it's a good one. It will be taken by Kevin Kennedy, and he slides down at the 33-yard line. Kevin having some trouble getting his footing in the middle of that field as it's a bit muddy there, and that could be a problem, as it looked like the Aquinas quarterback, Tom Finn, had some trouble getting out from under the center on a couple of the occasions when they snapped the ball, so that center part of the field must be rather slick.
Well, John, was on that field before the game, and the sides of the field and off the 20-yard, 30-yard line down, it's not too bad, but the middle of the field is pretty much slippery, and the grass is gone from there.
Handoff up the middle, it's John Radlinger with the football, and he's out to the 35-yard line, a pickup of just 2. Radlinger, a senior in the backfield, along with senior Larry Olson at the wingback position, and junior Rob Wagner. The quarterback will be Brian Morgan. As we mentioned, the ends will rotate. Kelly Kennedy and Kevin Kennedy started the game. Now Kelly comes out, and Tom Nicolai will go in for the Dons at the right end.
Then you'll see Tom Krause the next one in. So they just keep on rotating up for him.
Wing right, Larry Olson. 2nd and 8. Handoff, Rob Wagner up the middle, and he stopped after a 2-yard gain again. Up to the 37-yard line. Aquinas stopped him up after a short gain, and it'll be 3rd and 6. So the Dons trying to attack Aquinas up the middle.
Well, they're probably in the toughest part of the field right now. The ball's right in the middle of the field, and they're trying to get started and traction out of that. But it's not really mud, but she's just hard enough and slippery enough that they're going to have trouble getting that traction all night long, I'm sure.
Kevin Kennedy's split left, slot left formation for the Dons. John Radlinger, the only remaining back, and John will get the call, and he's hit after a short gain of about 1 yard. He tried to go off the right side, and Aquinas able to stop him up, as Radlinger was the lone remaining back. The tackle was made by the Blue Golds, Jay Leinfelder, and it'll be 4th down and about 5 yards to go.
Well, and I'm sure that Morgan's going to punt the ball too, unless he sees a wide opening.
4th and 5 as Aquinas sends a couple of receivers back deep around the 25-yard line. Good snap, and Morgan gets off a low kick that will bounce on the 35-yard line. It's taken on the 30 and run out through the 35, perhaps the 36-yard line by Kevin Connolly. And that is where Aquinas will take over.
Well, he did something dangerous there, Joe, and I don't know if you want to coach that way or not, but he picked that ball up for a ball and after the first bounce, and it wasn't that high a bounce, and that could have been a very, very dangerous play for LaCrosse. But it worked out okay for him. They only picked up about 3-4 yards after he picked the ball up, however.
Jim Hegebart comes wide to the left. Now they split it left. And again, the quarterback, Finn, trying to option to the right side, is having trouble getting traction. He's hitting the backfield and dropped for a 2-yard loss. Again, Kevin Hammond in on the tackle.
Well, they're in a better part of the field. They're not quite in the mud yet there. But you would think that he should have had a little bit better traction in that there, Joe. I think he may have fumbled that ball a little bit.
Well, he's been having trouble getting started. Second and 12 for Aquinas. They send Connolly into the slot right formation, I formation, behind the quarterback, Finn, and they'll give it to Peterson, the tailback. First time he's carried the ball, and he's wrapped up after a 1-yard gain by Rod Rederath, senior linebacker who has played a whale of a defensive game for Columbus all season long. And it'll be third down and about 10 from the 35-yard line as Peterson works his way just short of that 35.
Well, the Columbus boys are waiting for him, and they're not going to give anything away over here at all. They're playing hard, and they're off that ball. As soon as that ball is snapped, they're in there, and they're playing their own positions very, very nicely.
Hegenbart split left, Connolly slot left, Finn back to pass, quickly throwing it out over the middle. It's incomplete. The intended receiver was John Smith, and he was overthrown. Dick Stevens got a hand on it, but was not able to intercept. And again, Finn slipped as he tried to set himself to throw that football. So all kinds of trouble with the traction so far.
I don't know if they have a different set of cleats or something that they might be able to get out later on, but
you've got to start thinking in those lines. Cervais is the punter, and he gets off a low-line drive shot taken by Kevin Kennedy, and again fell down at the 36. It's just slick out there.
And he had room to move that time, but he just couldn't get going. You see the space there, and you just can't get to it, and he tried, but his feet just were out from underneath him.
Well, first and 10 for Columbus on the 36-yard line. Right now, you'd think they were playing on Pickle Pond.
Yeah. They might be a little anxious out there, too, trying to get out of that hole and so quickly.
Morgan hands it off to Rob Wagner, trying the left side, and he picks up about 2. Just very tough sledding in the middle of that Aquinas line as Neil Walsh made the tackle after a 2-yard gain.
How do you mean that tough sledding, bitch?
Slip of the tongue.
It is slippy.
Second and 8 at the 38-yard line for the Dons.
Now, this lacrosse team plays an awful lot of good defense, too. And according to statistics, as far as defense is concerned, Aquinas is giving up only 135 yards a game, whereas Marshfield-Columbus has given up 162.
Larry Olson gets the call, trying the right side, and nothing there for Larry as he is shoved back. And in on the bottom of the pile for Aquinas was Pat Thompson. Larry Olson picks up 1 till the 39-yard line, and it's 3rd and 7. Columbus just trying to go straight ahead, possibly setting up that sweep, which we have seen Rob Wagner run so successfully to the right all season long. This time the wingback is Larry Olson, and here comes Rob Wagner on the sweep right. Columbus is going to be in trouble because Aquinas had it played perfectly. Coming up from his cornerback position for the Blue Golds, John Lynch, and he stuck it to Rob Wagner back on the 36-yard line. Well, Aquinas was looking for it.
Benyuk was coming, and they defensed it very, very nicely. The tackle broke through and made Wagner go out a little bit further than he wanted to, and by the time he got to the line of scrimmage, or I should say he lost the 3 yards there, the halfback was up there to get him.
Morgan to punt. And a pretty good rush by Aquinas, and it's off the side of Brian's foot, and it will go out of bounds. Not a good kick at all. Will be marked out of bounds at the Aquinas 42-yard line. So the Blue Golds with excellent field position as they will start their second drive from the 42. And we have not seen a first down in this football game yet. 4:53 to go in the first period.
Up to now, Marshfield-Columbus has 5 yards total and 2 tries for the ball, and LaCrosse has -1 yard. So we haven't seen much offense.
Not exactly marching up and down the field. Slot right. Aquinas, handoff Peterson, a flag down, fumble, and it may be a Columbus ball. Rick Krohn is on it. Rick Krohn recovered the ball at the 46 36-yard line. A flag is down. It's going to be motion against Aquinas, I'm sure. Procedure against the Blue Golds, and Columbus recovers the fumble on the LaCrosse 46-yard line, and the Dons with outstanding field position. So let's see if Brian Morgan will perhaps go to the air here on first down, as that's the first big break of the game. Dick Stevens is going to come into the game offensively, and he will replace John Radlinger in the backfield. I didn't see what happened to John.
No, I don't either.
I formation. Handoff goes to Rob Wagner off the right tackle, and Robbie's ahead for about 3 yards before the tackle's made by Jay Leinfelder. And also coming off the bottom of that pile, Mark Zander. Second down and about 7 yards to go. Ball marked on the 43-yard line. So Columbus working straight ahead for the most part tonight.
Well, you're going to see it fast here shortly, I'm sure, because they're not moving the ball on the ground. They got to loosen up a little bit and find out what their pass defense can do.
Tom Nicolai wide to the right, and the handoff goes to the tailback out of the eye, Rob Wagner, and he lost the handle on the football. And Aquinas recovers. Joe Peterson recovered the fumble down on the 35-yard line, so turnabout, I guess, is fair play. Another missed opportunity for Columbus with the good field position, and we'll see what Aquinas can do now with the break. Under 4 minutes to go in the first period. Well, that ball is slippery, and the middle of the field is slippery. Petronic and Peterson in the backfield behind sophomore Tom Finn. Handoff Peterson. Flag down, nothing for Peterson as he's brought down at the 35-yard line. Let's check out the flag. The umpire threw it.
Normally, well, that was thrown. Normally, you're looking for a hole there, Joe, so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
It is against Aquinas, according to the Columbus players who are signaling Coach Kroll. 5-yard penalty, and it's an illegal procedure against the Blue Golds. First and 15 at the 30-yard line.
And, of course, Peterson received nothing. He gets into the line, and that's it. With just have not. This boy has gained 489 yards in 4 games, so that's about 122 yards a game, and so far he's got nothing.
Back to pass. It's been thrown out over the middle, incomplete, in and out of the hands of John Smith, and it hit him right between the numbers at the 40-yard line.
Well, Finn coming out with that ball that time, kind of fumbled the ball again in his hands, and as he stepped up through that ball, he threw it very, very hard. A very hard pass to catch, but of course these kids should be able to catch though. That was right there.
Second and 15 at the 30-yard line for the Aquinas Blue Golds. And, well, I think the field condition has had a greater effect on this game so far than we thought it would.
Well, both these teams are good defensive teams. A lot of the yardage given up by Columbus was given up by substitutes. So
Finn back to pass, throwing out, and it's overthrown and incomplete. As the intended receiver was Hagenbarth at the 45-yard line, John Olson almost got a hand on it on the deflection as it went right through Hagenbarth's hands. And again, an Aquinas receiver dropped a catchable pass.
The ball was thrown very, very hard and a little bit on the high side, Joe, but you're right. He should have caught that.
Third down and 15. That's what those guys are paid to do, isn't it?
Oh, no, not in high school. Not in high school. That's only on Sunday afternoons.
Only the college players. All right, and they're going to draw play to it as it's Petronic carrying the football. He's going to pick up about 6 yards to the 36-yard line, but well short of a first down. It'll be 4th and 9 coming up, to be precise. And the Blue Golds are going to have to kick it away. Chris Service in to do the kicking. He is a junior, reserve quarterback for Aquinas. Columbus sending Kevin Kennedy back deep to receive. Twice now Kevin has fielded punts and slipped down. Good snap, and Service gets off a high kick, a floater that will be taken by Kevin at the 30-yard line. He cuts to the far side of the field, now up the middle and pounded down at the 34-yard line. Nice hit made by the Aquinas punt team.
Well, Joe, on 3 times we got the ball on a punt. We got the ball on a punt on a 33-yard line, 36-yard line, a 34-yard line. And you begin to wonder a little bit if we can get beyond that particular point there.
2.5 minutes to go in the first period. Neither team has shown the ability to move the football yet tonight.
Well, again, as I said, I show only 8 yards on the ground for Columbus at this time and 9 yards so far for LaCrosse.
And Morgan's back to pass after a play fake. Looking long, and he throws out over the middle. It's caught by Kelly Kennedy at the 47-yard line. Kelly Kennedy has it in, and the Dons have the first down of this game. Brian Morgan had all day to throw. And it's a first down at the 47. 13 yards on the pickup for the Dons.
That ball is very nicely thrown. As you mentioned, he had an awful lot of time to throw that ball. He had lots of nice protection there, and that ball was nicely thrown, and Kevin was there, and he took the ball across the field for that 13-yard pickup.
Going back to the right side, 1st and 10 for the Dons, and the handoff goes to John Radlinger, spinning ahead, and John works his way out to midfield. Looked like they had him caught in the backfield, but Radlinger works ahead for 3, so a fine second effort by John. And that's just the way he runs. You got to just keep an eye on him, because he squirts through there for an extra yard or two on many occasions. 2nd and 7 for Columbus, ball marked right at midfield. So
well, this is a third of the Radlinger boys. And all 3 of them have played very, very good ball for Columbus, both football and basketball.
Larry Olson out wide to the right. Brian Morgan back to pass, stumbling, throws it over the middle. It's caught by Kelly Kennedy again at the 42-yard line, and he takes a good hit, but he's going to be down close to the first down. Kelly Kennedy picks up the first. And the Dons have the football at the 42-yard line of Aquinas. 8-yard pickup for Columbus on the play. And the passing game is doing the job right now for Columbus, moving the ball down the field. Second first down in the game. Both belong to Columbus on this drive. Under a minute to go, first period, no score. Tom Nicolai will come out wide to the right side. Rob Wagner flanked left. John Radlinger lone remaining back, and Brian Morgan is back to pass. Pressure is on. Morgan's going to be sacked. Back on the Columbus 47-yard line, and the Aquinas Blue Golds were coming that time. They had 3 people in on Brian Morgan, although the line did give him enough time to throw the ball.
Well, he found nobody open, and he didn't try to force that ball either, which is probably the right thing to do, but now we've got 2nd and 21.
A loss of 11 on the play. Back to the 47-yard line. So, now Columbus in a big passing situation. 2nd and 21. Again, Olson flanked wide to the right. Kevin Kennedy to the left side. Draw play. John Radlinger gets to the outside at midfield. Still going and fires his way down close to the 40-yard line. John Radlinger. What a run.
Well, he found some of that dry ground. He got on that grass outside the middle of the field. And once he got out there, he's able to squirm and get himself about, maybe 10, 11, 12 yards.
And that's going to be the end of the first period of play with the score. Marshfield-Columbus nothing, LaCrosse-Aquinas nothing.
Members of the Marshfield Sportscasters Club include the Marwood Motor Inn on Marshfield's growing north side, meeting rooms for up to 125 persons, and offering transportation to and from the clinic. Great Plains Gas Company, corner of Peach and Arnold. Insulate with blown mineral wool. Warms in the winter, cools in the summer. Appliance troubles? Call Bob Eckes at Bob's Appliance Service. He'll return it to working condition at a cost that's reasonable. See Jan Jansen at Tidy Car, North Central Avenue, and treat your car, truck, or van to the protection of Preserve-A-Shine. And Roll the Home Corporation, builders of fine mobile homes.
3rd down and 9 for Columbus at the 42-yard line as we come back for the start of the second period. Brian Morgan back to pass. Got good protection this time. Now he's running out of time, and he will be sacked back at midfield. Well, a super effort again by the Aquinas defensive line as they just kept plugging away and making the initial contact, and really gumming up the play for the Blue Golds was Mike Mitchell, one of their returning lettermen from last year's team, and he is a 190-pound senior. 4th down and long for Columbus at the 50-yard line. So Brian Morgan again must kick it away. Well, the line gave him enough time that time, but again, no one was open. Morgan gets off a beautiful kick. And bubble on the attempted catch. Connolly down there on the 12-yard line. Lost the handle on that ball, but he got back on it.
Well, Mark Hood there did signal a fair catch, and Joe, that ball went right through his hands as though he was trying to catch it with a net, without any net there. The ball just flew right through.
The ball will be marked down about the 13-yard line. So Aquinas back deep in their own end. Thanks to the fine kick by Brian Morgan. Let's see what the Blue Golds are able to do as they set it up in a power I. Now they shift out of it. Flanker back left side is Connolly. Handoff, and it's Peterson sweeping to the left, and he's cut down in the backfield. Might have got back to the line of scrimmage. As Kevin Kennedy over there making the tackle, along with Kelly Kennedy. Peterson's got to think he's seeing double.
Now, sometimes people think that you talk to two boys, you can have a heck of a time trying to tell the two of them apart unless they got their numbers on. And don't let them change, because you wouldn't know.
2nd and 10 at the 13-yard line for Aquinas. High formation. And this time Finn will give it off again to Peterson, and he stopped after no gain. Might have picked up a yard or so out to the 14, but again, fine defensive play by the Dons. John Radlinger in on the tackle.
Well, I'm sure that these guys will look at these stats and they see Peterson with 489 yards, Petronic with 363 in 4 games, and he says, come on now, they're not going to do all that against us.
Well, Petronic didn't block anybody on that play. You'd think if you got a tailback who's got all those yards, somebody must be blocking for him, perhaps a fullback, but it's not Petronic tonight. Flag, draw play, and Petronic running with the football out across the 15 to about the 17. A flag is down.
Probably a motion penalty or offside against LaCrosse, I'm sure, Joe.
Well, the officials will talk it over with the Dons. It's procedure against Aquinas, according to Larry Olson, and Columbus will wipe that out, of course, as Aquinas will be faced here with about a 4th and 8 situation at the 15-yard line, a punting situation, and they will no doubt kick it away. And Columbus should get the ball back in real good field position. Cervase into kick. Good snap, and he gets plenty of time, gets away a nice kick. That will drive Rick Plone back to the 49-yard line, and Rick slid down while making the catch, and he will have to keep it right there. But Columbus with outstanding field position, ball at the 48-yard line, and let's see if the Dons can put something together here and get some points on the board. It looks like this is going to be one of those games when one touchdown is really going to loom large. Of course, we're only in the 2nd period, but both defenses playing extremely well thus far. 48-yard line, Columbus with the football. Dons 7-0, LaCrosse-Aquinas 6-1 coming into this game. Slot right for the Dons in an I formation. Handoff, tailback, Rob Wagner breaking through a little bit of a hole down to the 43-yard line. And hanging on there from behind was Mark Sander. And it'll be 2nd down and about 5 as Wagner finds yardage down to the 43-yard line.
Well, that gives Wagner about 13 yards and 7 carries, and he's just not getting off that ball like he'd like to. Of course, again, we've got to remember that this LaCrosse team has had a very, very good defensive team, too, here.
2nd and 5 for Columbus. That 5-yard gain, one of the larger gains we have seen on the ground here tonight. 2 outstanding defensive units. In motion comes Larry Olson toward the near side. The handoff on the counter to Rob Wagner, and he got to the line of scrimmage and was stood up. Wagner picks up maybe 1 as he falls forward for a yard to about the 42, but it'll be 3rd and 4. And boy, somebody really laid the wood to Rob Wagner. Well, it's really 3rd on a short 5, I guess you'd call it. Let's give Robbie 1 on that play for the effort. Big play for the Dons. 3rd and close to 5 yards to go. Aquinas very tough defensively. Morgan back to pass. He's got good time. Now he's running out of time. Runs out of the pocket. Morgan's scrambling. He'll throw it back, and it's in and out of the hole. Kelly Kennedy at the 30-yard line.
Radlinger thought he had that ball. He fumbled. He just could not bring it in.
You're right. It was John Radlinger, and boy, he had a couple of shots at it, but this thing's like a greased pig out there tonight. incomplete, and 4th down coming up for Columbus. Game of inches. Brian Morgan did a super job of scrambling and staying free and able to get that ball off. Back deep to receive for Aquinas on the kick is Mark Hood and also Connolly, and a wobbly boot that will bounce around the 15-yard line. Takes a Columbus roll, and it's going to roll dead inside the 10-yard line. Tremendous field position acquired by that kick, thanks to Brian Morgan kicking that ball down to around the 5-yard line. And this is exactly where Columbus wants Aquinas to operate from, of course. Let's see exactly where they do mark it. Let's call it the
I can't see that. 4-yard line? That's tough to start from there.
Super kick. So Aquinas, 7:40 to go. In the first half, they'll hand it off to Big Petronic, and he pulls his way out across the 5-yard line to about the 8. Nice run by Petronic.
Looks like they gave him almost 5 yards.
Yeah, closer to the 9-yard line. 2nd and 5 for the Blue Goals. Well, Columbus has had the better of the field position thus far.
Well, but there's no points in the scoreboard, and that's where it pays off, Joe.
That's right. High formation. Finn, the sophomore, again to Petronic, the big guy, and he's out across the 10-yard line to about the 11. Eric Fehrenbach in there trying to stop things up from his middle guard position. Pickup of 1.5 yards. Let's call it the 10-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and 4 yards to go for Aquinas down deep in their own end. Big play for the Columbus defense. They would love to just hold them down here. Finn takes his snap, hands it off. Petronic again off right tackle, and nothing. Might have picked up
maybe a yard, maybe two.
But short of the first down. For sure. And Columbus will again get the football back as Aquinas stopped at the 12-yard line. 4th and 2 coming up for the Blue Golds, a punting situation. And the Dons slowly but surely moving down this field as far as field position goes. Chris Cervais, who's been busy, in to do the kicking. Good snap. Columbus is coming. He gets off a low kick. Line drive, and it's off the side of his foot, and it will roll down around the 32-yard line. On the 32, Columbus will take over. So it's the defense and the kicking game that has given the Dons the advantage thus far.
Well, Joe, we got the best field position that we're going to have all game long thus far, and if we're going to take advantage of it, this is the time to do it.
32-yard line. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. What a momentous struggle this has been. Boy, those linemen have been working hard on both ends of the line.
Sure have.
Brian Morgan takes his snap, hands it off. Radlinger up the middle, picks up about 1, maybe. Good defense by Aquinas. Tackle made by Mark Zander and Mike Mitchell.
They're playing it tough out there, too.
2nd and 10, nothing for Radlinger on the play. At the 32-yard line, the Dons have had some success passing the ball when Morgan has had enough time to throw.
Well, he's really only thrown 3 passes, only 1 incomplete, but he's been thrown for losses several times, so that doesn't help.
Aquinas defense putting on a good rush. 2nd and 10, Morgan is back to pass, and again he slips going back, throws it out over the middle, and it's caught by Kevin Kennedy, and he is hammered down at the 26-yard line. Boy, they really popped the leather there. Kevin took the lick and bounced right back up down to the 26-yard line.
Those Kennedy boys come to play football. A little bang like that ain't going to bother them any. Maybe you or I might lose something, but not with those kids. They play well.
A few teeth on me, that's for sure. 3rd and about 4 yards to go at the 26-yard line. That was a jarring hit. Kevin comes out of the lineup, but he's all right. course, with the rotating ends, it was his turn. Tom Kraus is in there at the left end position. And Brian Morgan's back to pass. This time he's going to be able to run out of the pocket, and he underthrows the intended receiver, Kelly Kennedy, down around the 25-yard line, and Morgan's upset with himself, but not much Brian could do. He was pressured.
I'm kind of surprised down there. I thought that they had 2 cracks of running for a first down there, and I thought they might have run for a first down, but they got 3 new boys coming in there now. I don't know if they're going to try a field goal. I think that's a little bit distant for a field goal.
Oh, no field goal here. They're going to go for it. Yeah, here comes Dick Stevens into the game. Stevens is coming in, and they may just try a field goal or maybe a fake. But Stevens has his tee with him, and he's going to be lining this up from well beyond 40 yards. 44-yard attempt here for Stevens. I don't know about this. He's got a good leg, but he's well out of range, I would say. The kick is going to be a bit short. About 10 yards. It landed on about the 5-yard line or so, and Stevens, well, that's just an awfully long kick for any high school athlete, and that one was a little out of his range, but none the worse for wear. Aquinas will get the ball on the 20-yard line, so what the heck. It's as good as a punt, and who knows, maybe he'll really get the foot into one and put it through. But Aquinas dodges the bullet this time, and they have the football on the 20-yard line. 4 minutes to go, first half.
Well, we've got to keep on holding them down. We're down to 4 minutes here now, too.
Finn is back to pass. Good protection. Throws it out, and the ball is caught. Making the reception for the Blue Golds is Jim Hagenbarth, and they have a first down.
No, sure.
No, he's got it at the 31-yard line is where they're marking it.
31 is at the
26. I'm sorry. You're right. A 6-yard gain.
You're confusing me here, and I'm so easy to confuse anyhow.
Well, if you're confused, it makes about 2 of us in the booth. 2nd and 4 at the 26. Hagenbarth comes out wide to the right side. Finn takes his snap, will belly to the left, and he will keep it this time. Running up, and he's close to first down yardage. Might be across the 30-yard line. And that was a struggle all the way as Finn finally found himself a little bit of a hole as he kept going to the left, and he did pick up the first down for Aquinas. And that's their first down.
That's their first down.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line. So it took them about 20 minutes of playing time to pick up that first down. Hagenbarth comes
they
out
just made it
right.
too by about a half a foot.
Slot right now is Connolly, and the handoff goes to Peterson. Big hole off left tackle, and he almost squirted free, but he's brought down at about the 37-yard line. John Radlinger made the tackle, and Peterson got through that hole in a hurry. So Aquinas picks up 6. 2nd and 4 at the 37-yard line.
Well, you don't pick up 122 yards a game by going 0-0, 1-1-1 type thing. So he's going to have to bust some of those off, and that's his first big gain for the game. He's got 13 yards already.
They opened a nice hole.
Yeah.
On that occasion. Finn takes the snap. Again, it's Peterson this time trying the right side, and he dives out to the 40-yard line. Going to be close to a first down yardage here, but a little bit short. Depending on where they mark the football. It'll be 3rd and about half a yard or so at the 40-yard line. Aquinas with 2:38 left in the first period. This is the first offense they have shown at all tonight, and this has got to be a bit of a confidence builder for them. And they're going to call a timeout with 2:28 to go in the first half. The score is LaCrosse-Aquinas nothing, Marshfield-Columbus nothing.
Members of the Marshfield Sportscasters Club include Town & Country Electric, electrical contractors for wiring needs, large or small. Joe Retzer at Retzer Oil Company, your standard oil jobber. Central Candy Company, Charlie Rest Jr. distributor, with a complete line of Old Dutch and delicious potato chips and snacks, plus nuts, gum, candy, and food snacks. Felker Brothers Corporation, supporting all youth activities. And Thorogood Credit Union, serving members and their families of the Marshfield Farmers Co-op and the Shoe Factory.
Yeah.
We're back at Beal Stadium. You're listening to Columbus Dons football on WDLB Marshfield. 2:28 to go in the first half.
Well, this game is moving along very, very quickly here, Joe. We're keeping the ball on the ground. There isn't much as far as passing concerned and or penalties thus far. We knock on wood. You don't want to see penalties ruin a game like this.
Slot right formation. Finn on 3rd and 1 gives it off to Peterson. He's got enough for the first down. Out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Rod Rederath hanging on to the ankles. A 2-yard pickup and another first down for the Blue Golds. As I was saying, this will give them a bit of confidence, I think, that they can move the ball against Columbus unless the Dons defense can snuff them out right here. Late in the first half, they were unable to do anything until this drive. And now they're wedging it out with a little bit of success.
Well, I don't know if they're going to try and score. Orella is going to go back to pass.
Finn's going to throw the ball over the middle, and it is incomplete, throwing toward the far sidelines. Intended receiver was Hagenbarth, and he underthrew him rather badly. Hagenbarth dove after it, but it was no chance, and it'll be 2nd and 10. So Tom Finn, the quarterback, going to the air on 1st and 10.
Well, they don't have that much time left, a little over 2 minutes. If they're going to get any kind of scoring aboard, bouncing it out by 3 and 4 yards of the crack isn't going to do it this quarter anymore, this half.
And Finn is again back to pass. Good protection. He's got all day to throw. Same pattern, and it's overthrown. Rick Plone over there covering on Hagenbarth at the midfield stripe, and it'll be 3rd down. And a minute 58 remains in the half.
He's going for the sidelines, and I don't know, I've been watching in the middle, whether or not the middle might be open, but in both cases, these last 2 passes, the people were covered pretty nicely.
Aquinas calls time with 1:58 to go in the half. It's Columbus nothing, Aquinas nothing.
Members of the Marshfield Sportscasters Club include J.N. Weigel Incorporated, your aluminum can recycling center. Open Monday and Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Everyone benefits from a clean environment. Weir Oil, your friendly Texaco distributor at 1207 East 4th Street, featuring quality Texaco self-service gas for your car and Texaco fuel oil for your home. Brunswick James Lane, Central Wisconsin's finest bowling establishment. Marshfield Furniture, for famous brand name furniture by Sealy, Bassett, Richardson, all wood dining rooms and Pontiac chairs, Mastercraft and Lazy Boy. Lauer Supply for the finest in complete roofing, siding, and blown-in insulation service.
Back at Field Stadium, Joe Orella, Mickey Horvath. Minute 58 to go in the first half. No score. Columbus and Aquinas. It's been all we expected.
Well, Joe, for the game thus far, Aquinas has himself sitting at 41 yards, and Marshfield-Columbus has 39 yards. So it's pretty close. Not much to speak of for Marshall's had good field position throughout the game, however.
Finn, deep drop back, throwing long down the sidelines, and the ball is in and out of the hands of the intended Aquinas receiver, Hagenbarth, and Rick Plone was right down there with him. Fine defense by Plone, the right defensive cornerback for Columbus. And Aquinas, facing a 4th and 10 situation, is going to have to kick the ball away again to the Dons. Minute 50 to go.
That was excellent defense on that part by Plone. Was right there with the man all the way.
Chris Cervase again to do the kicking. Columbus going to rush 8 people, and Cervase just gets the kick off. It will bounce on the 35-yard line, takes an Aquinas roll down to the 26, where it will be downed by John Lynch. So the Dons have the ball at the 26-yard line with a minute 40 to do something with it. Well, Aquinas got out of that hole. Yes, they were in.
Well, they moved the ball. They finally got a couple of first downs. Now Marshfield-Columbus has a little time here to see what they can do.
Clock is moving. Brian Morgan late getting to the field as he was getting some last-second instructions from Walt Kroll. As soon as the officials spot that ball ready for play, the clock starts on change of possession. Center Greg Sebastian leads him out of the huddle. Brian Morgan takes his snap and hands it off to John Rollinger, running off left tackle, and John's out to the 31-yard line for the tackles made by Joe Peterson, the cornerback on the right side for Aquinas. And that'll be a pickup of 6 yards for the Dons. It'll be 2nd and about 4 at the 31, but the clock is moving. We're under a minute now.
Well, unless we start throwing some passes, we should probably only see 2 more plays this half. And, of course, Marshfield-Columbus has been noted to strike from a distance, so that is always that possibility.
Morgan will hand it off, and this time John Rodlinger again trying the left side of the Columbus offensive line, and he stopped at the 35. Tackle made by Mark Hood, And also helping out on that stop, Neil Walsh. And with 28 seconds left in the half, we'll probably see one more play.
Of course, Kelly Kennedy comes back in now. It's his turn to come in.
15 seconds as the Dons break the huddle.
Half a yard for a first down.
And Morgan will keep it. Fumble the ball. Aquinas is on it at the 35-yard line with 5 seconds left. Morgan just lost the handle on the football. And Aquinas has it at the 35-yard line, as falling on that ball for the Blue Golds was Gary Hauser. And they'll have one chance here with 5 seconds left to try and do something with the football. The fumble, second of the night by Columbus. And Aquinas has called a timeout to make sure that clock does not start before they're able to get it going. As we just mentioned, on the change of possession, as soon as that ball is spotted, then that clock will start. 5 seconds left. And Tom Finn, the sophomore quarterback, no doubt will be going back to pass here with the Blue Golds with their best field position of the night at the 35-yard line. Well, Morgan just lost the handle on the football.
Well, he had the first down made and probably struggling for an extra yard, and the ball just pops out. I'm sure a pass is going to occur on here. There's no way they're going to score any other way.
The Dons back playing the prevent defense. Finn is back to pass. He's got good time. Throws it out over the middle, and the ball is knocked away. Incomplete. As down there, the intended receiver was Hagenbart. The Dons had a couple of men, Rick Clone and John Olson in the area. And John Olson's a little bit slow getting up. But he's up now and walking off of the field, as that is the end of the first half of play. With our score, Marshfield-Columbus nothing and LaCrosse-Aquinas nothing.
Now our halftime show. Highlights and statistics. A look back at the first half, a look ahead to the second. Sponsored in part by Marshfield Savings and Loan, Trading Post Homes, and the Central Wisconsin Coin Company.
Back at Beal Stadium, Joe Orella with Mickey Horvath. A very fast-moving first half in this ball game tonight. And it has been, I guess, when you add everything up about what we had expected, a very tough defensive struggle here tonight, as with the field conditions a bit slick, a bit more slick than we had anticipated. It's very difficult for either team to move the football tonight, and that will certainly show up in the statistics, and it certainly shows up on the scoreboard here at halftime, as we have no score. Neither team has really threatened to score either, as the Columbus got it down to the 22-yard line, or the 26-yard line on their furthest possession into Aquinas territory. They tried a long field goal attempt that was well short. Aquinas got the ball on the Columbus 35-yard line for the last play of the half after the fumble, and they were unable to do anything with it because they only had 5 seconds left. Pass was incomplete. And we are at halftime. We have no score. We'll check the statistics and talk a little bit more about the football game after this message on our halftime show.
It's a good feeling knowing you have the comfort and livability of a quality Marshfield home around you. From Mickey Horvath's Trading Post Home, Highway 13 south of Marshfield. Now would be a great time to purchase your own mobile home. You'll enjoy the easy to care for, affordable ownership of a Marshfield home. See Bob Brown, Mary Kachura, or Mickey Horvath about financing. They have the money available, and in some cases you can get your home for as little as 10% down. Come in and see the 20 homes now on display on their lot, ready and waiting to be put up on your home site, ready and furnished. Mickey Horvath's Trading Post Homes also has ideal park spaces available in the Parkview Terrace new development. If you're thinking about housing plans for the future this winter or spring, think Trading Post Homes, Highway 13 South, Marshfield.
It's a good feeling when you feel it's free. It's a good feeling.
Back at Beale Stadium at halftime, a scoreless tie. Interesting football game, just a titanic defensive struggle thus far. And I think the statistics will bear that out for us. There's not much offense in this first half. The Dons did move the ball on a couple of occasions, but did not really get close enough for a good scoring opportunity. And Mickey, just what do the numbers say right now?
Well, the numbers stay pretty much at what the statistics are for the season as far as defense is concerned. LaCrosse, who comes in here at 4-0, playing Marshfield-Columbus at 3-0 as far as conference is concerned. Aquinas, for team defense throughout the season, has given up only 135 yards a game, whereas Columbus has given up 162. And a lot of that occurred in a couple of those games when we have the third stringers in there trying to play some defense, and of course you got to give those kids a chance too. The offense with Aquinas and Marshfield again being 1-2 or 2-1, I should say. Columbus is number 1 in leading in offense. Just has not had a chance to get started on this field, and of course if they're as far as offense is concerned for the first half, and this is for a team that normally gets about 300 and some odd yards a game, so they're way under their average, what they should be at this time. They've only gotten 2 first downs, and it took almost 20 minutes to get that first down, so Marshfield-Columbus has played some very good defense against them. They punted the ball 6 times, and for an average of about 29 yards a game, and they were penalized 5 yards. Peterson was gained 489 yards in 4 games. We're an 122-yard game average. He has 18 yards and 7 carries. Petronic was gained 363 yards, which comes out to about 80-something yards, almost 90 yards a game, 91 yards a game. Has 16 yards and 7 carries. Finn has carried the ball 3 times for a 1-yard gain. He's completed 1 pass, 2 out of the 8, as we mentioned before, and that was for 6 yards, and that was to Hagenbarth. Marshfield-Columbus, on the other hand, hasn't done all that much better. For the season, their offense has been in a neighborhood of 328 yards a game, and they only have 50 yards of offense that first half. 23 yards rushing and 27 yards passing. They had 3 total first downs, 2 by passing and 1 by rushing. They attempted 5 passes and completed 3. Morgan has had time for throwing the ball. He's been trapped back there several times, but he's we're not getting the ball, the job done back there like we normally can get done in the past. The second half should show this off a little. Hopefully we'll get some offense rolling. And at least Columbus, I'm not so sure I want LaCrosse to start running up that ball. Olson's carrying the ball 1 time for 1 yard. Radlinger's carried the ball 7 times for 27 yards. Rod Wagner has just not been able to get off the snide as he has in the past. He's got 13 yards and 7 carries. Morgan is a minus 18 and 3 carries. As I said, he's passed 5 times for 3 completions, 2 of those to Kelly Kennedy. A 13 and 8-yarder, and the other one was to Kevin Kennedy for a 6 yards. Morgan has punted that ball 4 times for about a 34-yard average. Joe, if Columbus is going to do anything in the second half, they're going to have to get that running game going like they know they can. If you look at the statistics, Columbus has got 3 boys in the top rushers in the league. That's Rob Wagner has 310 yards for about a 103-yard average per game. John Radlinger is 197 yards in 3 games, and Larry Olson 92 in 3 games. So we have the boys who can run the ball. It's just a matter of getting them a little bit of space and getting a little bit of traction to get it open. Brian Morgan has had a chance. He hasn't had as much trouble getting back from under center as this Finn boy has from LaCrosse. It seems that every time he comes away from the quarterback or from the center that he's just about ready to stumble and fall. And yet Brian seems to have a little bit better traction from there, but we're just not moving the ball like we should be. And again, as I said, the second half should bring 2 things.
All right, Well, I think one thing you've got to look at for Columbus, and it could be a key to the game, got to be pass protection. They've got to give Morgan a little bit more time to throw that ball. On most occasions when Brian has gone back to throw, he has been at least harassed. You mentioned that he's been sacked 3 times, I think it is, already tonight. And the passing game has really been one of the keys to this Columbus offense all season long. And if you shut off the run, which Aquinas has been fairly successful in doing, then you've got to go to the pass, and you've got to give that passer some time.
Well, he's had some time back there. The receivers have some trouble getting off that line, too. And when they're trying to make their breaks, their timing is going to be off a little bit because of that. You can't break away from that line of scrimmage like these boys like to. And really, we've only thrown 5 passes, and only one of the 2 that wasn't complete could have been caught, and the other one was thrown short. But he's hitting the boys, and he's getting some time, but the receivers themselves aren't getting a chance to get open. And again, when it's that slippery out there, the passer is worried about where he's going to step and how he's going to handle that thing. He doesn't want to get sacked back there. So he maybe not be able to see as much as he'd like to see down the field, too. But I'm sure that Walco has get these boys up to that second half, and he's done this in several other games, too, and they come out roaring ready to play. Of course, we can't say pretty much the same thing for the lacrosse team. They've been winners for years and years and years, and they're used to winning, and that's not all because you got good ball players. You've got good coaching, and the coaching knows what's happening out there, and they do a really good job because of it.
All right, we're a scoreless tie here at halftime. The Columbus Dons, the Aquinas Blue Golds, in a tremendous battle here from Beal Stadium, as neither team has had a real good scoring opportunity yet. The second half will be coming up relatively shortly, and we expect more of the same, and it's going to be possibly one big break or the first score. Whoever gets that first score, of course, is really going to be in the driver's seat. The Columbus band putting on a very nice performance here at halftime in front of a real good crowd. When you consider the weather conditions, I just wonder what kind of a crowd we'd have had here had it been about 75 degrees out and a clear sky and a perfect night. But a real fine crowd, as big a crowd as we've seen here at Beal Stadium in some time here tonight for this football game.
Yeah, we talk about a crowd. I bet you, I'm willing to say that we've probably got about 2,000 people here. This stadium holds, I don't know what the officially holds, but I think we figured it out real quickly earlier, and somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000, 4,500. And the west side here is about 90% full, and the east side there must have about 15-20% full. So I'm sure we have over 2,000 fans here, and
well, that's
they're enjoying themselves a good game.
A lot of people down at the concession stand right now, too, so it's a little hard to try and figure out.
I counted all those folks.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Just a quick
right.
check. Yeah.
Right.
And let's run down some other scores that we have to pass along from this afternoon. A tough loss for the Marshfield Senior High Tigers up in Merrill by a score of 20-13, as Merrill getting a score very early in the fourth period to win that football game, and a real tough loss for Ken Bjorkman and the Tigers this afternoon up there.
Big game for Dave McLean this afternoon, though, Joe.
Yes, the Wisconsin Badgers beat Michigan State on the road 17-7. And what a victory for Coach Dave McLean, as the Badgers have had all kinds of problems, and they took on one of the top teams in the Big Ten annually. Michigan State down a bit this year, I guess, but they beat the Spartans on their homecoming game, and that's quite an accomplishment for the Badgers.
When you're playing Michigan State at home, remember they just came off playing Michigan and Notre Dame the last 2 weeks. And then you're playing Wisconsin, you might be down a little bit, but that's not taking anything away from Dave McLean. He's got a good bunch of kids up there. It's just a matter of getting them on track, and maybe this victory will do it for them. They went into the first half, at the end of the first half, with a 7-0 lead. And going into the fourth quarter, they're leading 10-7 and they're nursing that lead. And it seemed like Michigan State was going to break it open at any time, but Michigan State made some mistakes of their own, penalties and so forth. And Wisconsin was able to hold down, and they finally recovered a fumble punt, Joe, in the end zone. And Greenwood kicked that ball about 50 yards from zone 30 to about the 20-yard line. Ball was fumbled into the end zone. and somebody from Wisconsin slopped on it for a 17-7 victory. Big victory.
Oh, it sure is for the Badgers. They're 2-4 now on the season. And in the World Series, the Kansas City Royals have pulled even. They knocked off the Phillies by a score of 5-3 this afternoon in KC. So that one's all knotted up at 2 apiece. Game number 5 tomorrow in Kansas City. Game 6 in Philly on Tuesday night. And the Royals, who were next to dead after losing those first 2 in Philadelphia, have bounced back nicely. And that World Series is going to be a real thriller right down to the end. As right now it comes down to being a best 2 out of 3 series with game number 1 in Kansas City tomorrow. And that's a big game. Getting that 3-2 edge will really be important, I would think, to one of those 2 teams, and whoever is able to do it will certainly be in the driver's seat there.
Well, as I look at it, Joe, it has to be, if Kansas City wants to have a chance, they're going to have to win that game again tomorrow, because I don't think that they could go back to Philadelphia and win 2 games there.
I would think not.
And so their backs to the wall. Even if Kansas City wins that game tomorrow and goes up 3-2, I still think it's a toss-up, because Philadelphia can very easily win both those games back at home. They seem to have that kind of a spirit this year.
Well, we'll see. We'll be back with more on our halftime show in just a minute.
Did you know you can make money with a Tidy Car Shine? That's right, you can add hundreds of extra dollars to your trade-in value when you get Tidy Car's famous Preserve a Shine treatment. Let Tidy Car give you a free consultation on the appearance processes your car needs to increase its value substantially, with no obligation on your part. Just call ahead for your free consultation appointment. Get the protection you can trust from the people you know, Tidy Car, and make money with your Tidy Car Shine. Contact the friendly folks at Tidy Car today. You'll get the trade-in power of a Tidy Car Shine. The 1981 cars are looking better and more beautiful than ever before, and you'll probably be wanting one. To make sure your trade-in gives you the greatest return, trust to the tough and tidy treatment they're famous for. Just remember to call Tidy Car the next chance you get, and they'll be happy to go over your car and give you a free consultation. Add hundreds of dollars to your trade-in value with Tidy Car, North Central Avenue, Marshfield, and 1st Street North, Wisconsin Rapids.
Well, the second half's coming up next on WDLB.
The halftime show was sponsored in part by Marshfield Book and Stationery, Fiege's Incorporated, Miller Glass and Sport, and the Thorogood Credit Union. The second half of the game is coming up next on WDLB.
The Dons are going to get the football first here in the second half. The cheerleaders down trying to fire the fans up and get them rolling here.
Well, if something else, they want to fire it up to get warmed up, too. It's not all that bad out here. I thought it was going to be a little bit colder than it is. It's don't get me wrong, it's cold, but it seems to be a comfortable cold. And you're seeing them watching a good game. It's very, very fun.
Yeah, when you're watching a good football game, you don't really notice the temperature too much, do you? Aquinas going to kick it off. Ryan O'Brien's going to do the kick. Believe that one or not. Dick Stevens will take it on the 25-yard line. No, it skips past him. Larry Olsen picks it up. Oh! And very close to breaking it out to the 38-yard line. Boy, he was just a hair away from going for a big yardage there, and Larry's a bit slow getting up.
Well, that ball was squibbed on the ground, and it bounced right past Stevens, and Olsen was there to pick it up, and he just squirted right up the field, and one man, Joe, one man, and he'd been gone.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line for the Columbus Dons as we start the second half of play. Junior Brian Morgan will be at the quarterback. His running backs will be John Radlinger and Rob Wagner. Radlinger a senior, Wagner a junior. Larry Olsen will be the wingback. He is a senior. And Morgan is back to pass on 1st down. Rolling out to his left. He's got a lot of running room if he chooses to do so. And now he's running out of time, and he's popped, and the ball goes out of bounds about 5 yards upfield from the line of scrimmage at the 46. So
we were very, very fortunate. He was that close to the sideline when he fumbled that ball.
Neil Walsh popped him.
Actually picked up an extra yard because of it.
Pickup of about 6 yards on the play to the 45. Call it 2nd and 4 for the Dons as Morgan going to roll out that time. Well, they give him an extra yard out to the 46, so 2nd and 3. All right. Yeah. Walsh really separated Morgan from that ball, though, with quite a hit.
Morgan's a big boy. If you haven't seen him, he's a big, strong junior, and he just knows how to play this game.
Morgan hands it off. Rodlinger off the left side. First down into Aquinas territory at the 44-yard line. John Rodlinger, tackled by Chris Cervase.
It's a 10-yard gain for John. Gets up 37 yards and 8 carries. A very, very good gain on that play.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line for Columbus. Big run. Trying to get something established here early in the second half.
Well, you get this ball rolling this quickly and early in the game, maybe in this half here, they'll get off that snide.
First and 10, Rodlinger going to the right side, breaks a tackle, now he's in trouble and he slips down on the 47-yard line. Well,
I think he lost his shoe too.
That might have hurt him. Out there in a sock, I'd just go run and hide somewhere. Yeah, he lost the shoe out there and now he's looking for it. Larry Olson picked it up for him. They lost a couple of yards on the play, back to the 46, second 12. John will come out, Dick Stevens in for the Dons. At the fullback position as Aquinas had that play defense very well. Rodlinger slipped down, but he didn't have much running room anyway, it didn't appear. Second and 12, Morgan is going to drop straight back, looking to pass, throwing out over the middle, overthrown and almost intercepted. Down around the 37-yard line. Aquinas on the deflection almost got that ball picked off by Mark Hood. The intended receiver was one of the Kennedy boys. I believe it was Kevin down there.
Went off his fingers. And again, that's a dangerous kind of pass, but of course, that's the kind we've been throwing and catching all season long. Joe, isn't he dropping back further than he normally does?
He takes a deep drop back, and he has all year long. And I don't believe it's any further than that.
Okay, well, it just appears to be an awfully deep back drop.
It is. But that's his normal drop back. Counter play. Rob Wagner had a little bit of an opening, but looked like it was going to break open for more than it did as he stopped on the 41-yard line. It picked up about 5, but the Dons going to have to punt the ball away again. So it looked promising there for a minute as the Dons marched the ball down the field, got a first down, but the 2-yard loss to Rodlinger is too much to overcome in this instance, and Columbus will kick it away. 4th and 7 from the 41-yard line. Brian Morgan to do the kicking. High snap, but no problem for Brian. That's off a beautiful kick. And a fair catch called for, and they take it down around the 5-yard line.
That's a mistake. That ball you should leave go.
Yep.
Well, good for Marshfield. The coach there has to talk to that boy. That ball kicked that deep, you let it go.
That was Foot down there who made the fair catch. Handled it perfectly.
Where is it, about the 4-yard line, 5-yard line?
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe about the 3. Looks like a 3-yard line to me. When you look at the sticks over there on the sidelines.
Yeah, but the scoreboard says 5, so let's say it's 5. That's a 36-yard punt for Morgan.
I'll trust my baby Blues. 1st and 10 at the 3. And Ben will hand it off up the middle. And running to the outside now is Peterson. He's got a first down out near the 20-yard line. Boy, he faked me out on that one.
Sure did.
Joe Peterson got the call going off left tackle. And it's a flag down. A flag against Aquinas, and that's a big penalty as they got right out of the hole there with that run. But now they're going to march right back in.
I don't know why you even asked the Columbus boys if you want the penalty or not after a 16-yard pickup.
Yeah, that's a little...
should put the ball back down to about the 2.
Yep.
They compromised on us, Joe. It was a 4-yard line, not the 3 or the 5.
Well, it'll be first down and 10, according to the sticks.
Well, what happened here?
4. I don't know. Handoff up the middle, Petronic, and nothing for him. That's Peterson, excuse me. Peterson, the ball carrier. Rod Rutterath gets off the bottom of the pile. Peterson gets no yardage. 2nd and 10 from the 4-yard line. I don't know what the call was.
Well, I think what happened was the guy on a stick forgot to go back. I think that he actually did bring that ball back. And,
well, it could be.
Either way.
2nd and 10 now at the 4-yard line. I formation. Finn out from center will hand it off to Peterson, his tailback, and he's stopped up as he got to about the 5-yard line. Very short gain. for Joe Peterson, leading rusher in the CWCC, out to the 5. And it'll be third down and about 8 yards to go or so. And Aquinas back deep in their own end has had very little in the way of good field position tonight. And thanks to the fine kicking of Brian Morgan is where you got to put the credit there for Columbus.
Well, a mental error there too. Didn't hurt Marshfield-Columbus any.
Third and about 9 yards to go or so. Down on the 5. Connolly goes in motion. He sets himself up in a slot left formation. And Finn will option it right. Peterson fumbles the ball. And he's on top of it.
Got to be right down on the goal line.
But very, very deep in Aquinas territory. Well, that's a dangerous play down that far.
Yeah, well, he was tackled as he was trying to throw that ball off, but John Olson was right on top of him.
At the 1-yard line. Aquinas is going to have to kick it away. And they will not have the normal distance between the center and the punter, as Cervais will be pinned back to that end line. Aquinas will...
It's over his head with the safety. Well, that's 2 points. That's 2 points. Okay, we'll take it.
A safety, a high stop over the head of the punter. He had no chance.
And we get the ball, too, now. They punt from the 20-yard line.
They will punt it or kick it from the 20. They have a choice. But the Dons are on the board. And I guess that's the kind of appropriate. The way the defense is played in this game, that the defense would score the first points. 2-0, Columbus. So Aquinas will have the option of punting or kicking off a tee from the 20-yard line. Boy, the defense has got to get all the credit. What a super job. And Cervais is in the game, so he's going to punt it.
I imagine you're going to punt because you get more distance on it. I never really understood the logic of this.
More height and more distance and better coverage,
yeah,
I figure.
Sure.
Not really more distance, I guess, but better height. And he kicks it off the side of his foot, and it's taken by Wally Schutz at the 45-yard line, and Wally's down to the 41. And that's where Columbus will take over and listen to the crowd.
That might have been the only time all season long that Schutz has handled the ball, but he was right there on that receiving team, and the ball came to him. He covered it very nicely and gained himself a couple of yards.
Boy, he held on to that thing with 2 hands.
He did.
First and 10 at the 42. Let's see if the safety fires the Dons offense up.
Well, it should.
Wing right, Larry Olson. Morgan back to pass. A little bit of pressure. He's throwing long down there for Kevin Kennedy, and it is caught. He's going to score. Touchdown. Kevin Kennedy caught the ball at the 10-yard line. He battled Joe Peterson for it. Kennedy came up with it and took it in.
Well, John, looks like there's some interference out there. Both Kevin Kennedy and the other boy were bouncing around a little bit, and the lacrosse team was looking for some opportunity for offensive interference, but I thought it would have gone the other way, but he picked that ball up, and he just went right in there. That was Kevin Kennedy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
8-0 Dons on the 42-yard touchdown pass.
Let's make that a 42-yard.
Right. Dick Stevens on to try the extra point. Good snap. Morgan will hold the kicks off wide to the right. It's no good. 7:15 remains in the third period. It's Columbus 8. Aquinas nothing.
Members of the Marshfield Sportscasters Club include Wenzel Farm Sausage, proud to be a part of the Marshfield community. For the sausage with that country charm, try Wenzel Farm. Perkins Sports, 1202 South Central, your complete ski headquarters in Marshfield, featuring both downhill and cross-country equipment with certified ski mechanics to keep your skis in tip-top shape. When you choose Hockey Transit to help you move, you'll get the kind of pride and personal care you get from a neighborhood business, plus the worldwide network of North American van lines. Neuendorf Transportation Company, a symbol of service, And Rice Rust Pharmacy, complete professional prescription service in your center for home health care needs, where your health is their business.
Well, Columbus very quickly gets 8 points on the board after the safety, a 42-yard touchdown pass from Morgan to Kevin Kennedy. And the Dons lead it 8-0.
Well, he caught that ball very nicely. Morgan had all the time in the world to throw it. Of course, when best to do it in after adversity, and that's exactly what they did. A beautiful play.
Dick Stevens to kick it off for the Dons. A short kick, and it will be taken by one of the upbacks, but we have a flag down. Offside?
I think it's offside on the defense. Offense.
I don't see the flag.
Yeah, the flag was over on the other side of the field.
Dead.
Yeah, the flag was on the other side. It was dropped by the referee on the other side.
Yes.
One of the guys lined off on the wrong side of the line, on the 50-yard line.
So another mental blunder by the Blue Golds. And Columbus will kick it off now from the 45-yard line. That was not a very deep kick by Stevens. So Dick will get another chance.
Well, it's hard for him, as you mentioned before, to get the traction off this stuff that you'd like to get. And, of course, where you're kicking from is the worst part of the field. And that's the part of the field that everybody's been playing on. As I said before, the Marshfield High School had their JV game and their freshman game here on Thursday night, and that rained. And they chewed that field up a little bit.
So, Dick Stevens, again, ready to kick the ball off. And this is a much better kick. He really drilled this one. Peterson takes it, drops it. Now he picks it up again. He's got nowhere to go. And he's out across to about the 18-yard line, and that is it. So, again, Aquinas pinned deep in their own end. Fine coverage.
Well, he was lucky to get that much off of that play. He picked it up, and he was able to squirt out for about 8-10 yards.
At the 18, Columbus takes over. Excuse me, Aquinas takes over. Did I say Columbus?
Yes, you did, but that's okay. 2 games in one day. Not even Earl Gillespie gets away with that kind of stuff, Joe.
Or Ted Moore.
Ted Moore, oh boy.
But Ted can change the story when he feels like it. 1st and 10, back to pass is Finn. They're going right after it. Now he may run with the ball. He had good running room. He throws it instead, and it's in and out of the hands of Smith, the intended receiver, at the 40-yard line. It hit him right in the hands.
Boy, that would have been about a 30-yard gain. He'd had that ball laid in there pretty. Very, very pretty. And a boy just jumped there and did not hang on to it. Was that Hackbar?
No, it was Smith that time, but he sure should have had it. He would have had a big game. 2nd and 10. Well, it looked like Finn could have run for some yardage that time, too.
Well, Olsen is playing an awfully deep safety at this stage of the game.
He sure is. Way back about 25 yards. And this is another quarterback in there throwing it out, and it is off the hands of the intended receiver. Again, it's Smith. Mike Laird is the quarterback. He is a senior. And as we mentioned, Finn has had trouble slipping with that muddy middle of this field.
Well, he's been throwing that ball pretty nicely, and that ball just is not being caught by his receivers, and you can't fault Finn for that. Now, that ball was thrown by Laird, should have been caught too, but wasn't.
Laird appears to have a real strong arm.
Now we got Finn back in again.
Finn is back in at quarterback. 3rd and 10. And the sophomore is back to pass, fakes the draw play. Pressure's on. Kelly Kennedy missed him. And he's going to be driven back by Pat Fowles. Back on the 15-yard line.
Pat Fowles did not miss a ball.
He hammered it. Way back on the 10. And it'll be 4th down in Columbus. Definitely with the upper hand now in this one. 8-0. They should be getting the ball back around midfield at the very worst, as Cervais is in to kick the ball away. And he gets off a low spiraling job taken by Nikolai at the 35-yard line, and he's down at the 33. Maybe a late hit there. Some of the fans wanted it, but I don't think the officials called it. Down to the 34-yard line, Columbus with outstanding field position. And let's see if they can put some more distance between the Dons and the Blue Golds here. Last time, Columbus had the ball, a 42-yard scoring pass.
Well, down in a beautiful field position this time, Joe, and we're in good opportunity to get something out of this again. They need it.
Morgan back to pass. Pressure on from the middle, and Bryan is going to be hit, but he still gets the ball off, and it's almost intercepted. Well, that's one he should have never thrown. But fortunately, no damage done. That ball was almost picked off, however, by Jay Leinfelder. Morgan had somebody hanging onto his ankles, and he was able to maintain his balance and try and throw that ball, but the only guys down there were wearing Aquinas gold and blue.
Well, Kevin Kennedy was standing about 5 yards away. He was kind of surprised. He thought somebody was thrown to somebody else, and he just stood there.
Maybe he thought Bryan was going down and kind of gave up on it. Olsen comes in motion. They hand it back to Wagner on the counter play, and Robbie slips as he got down to the 30.
On the 28.
Tried to cut back and stopped at the 29-yard line. Pickup of only 5 yards on the play. So it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Dons at the 29-yard line. Looked like that was going to break open for some more, but tough footing.
Again, that's that middle part of the field. If he can get past it, let's get another 10 yards out of this thing here, and then get down to about the 25-yard line. Then you got some traction. Or on the sides of the field.
3rd and 5 for the Dons. Morgan, quick pitch out to Wagner. Going to the left, he cuts it up, and he's got good yardage down to the 26-yard line. Now he's going to be stopped short of a first down, I believe, as Aquinas really came over and filled that hole quickly. These Blue Golds, they're down, but they're not out.
No, they're not. They play some good, hard defense. That's what they're noted for.
Down to the 25-yard line, 4th and 1.
Let's get it.
Sounds like a good idea to me. 4.5 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Tom Nicolai in, Kelly Kennedy out, as Bryan Morgan will call the play on 4th and 1 as the Dons are going to go. 8-0, Columbus leading late in the 3rd period. A safety and a long touchdown pass. Morgan hands it off to Rodlinger up the middle. He's got him up for the first down, I believe.
We're down to about the 23. What do you think?
Didn't have a whole lot to spare, but I think he's got the first down. Well, Aquinas really stopped it up there. Neil Walsh made the initial hit, but it is a first down where they mark it down on the 23-yard line. No question about it. Oh, come on, why measure?
No, they shouldn't have to measure that one. Are they? Well, I've got it marked down already. That has to be.
He's got it. I'm not even going to watch this.
Well, Joe, we've already picked up 73 yards the second half, and after picking up only 50 in the first half, so
made it by better than the length of the ball.
We're moving the ball, both on the ground and in the air.
Down on the 23-yard line, Dons with a first down. What a surprise, huh? Made it. No question about it. Why did they even bother?
Well, they don't have the good view we have from up here, Joe.
Yeah,
our angle is much better. Probably only about a 38-yard.
Okay, Morgan will hand it off to Wagner. Flag is down, and Wagner goes down in a hurry.
I think Olsen may have turned upfield just before the ball was snapped.
Boy, Rob Wagner really got leveled after a very short gain, but this flag is going to go against the Dons. And I think that's the first penalty against Columbus, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
First
7 yards against LaCrosse, and now 5 yards against Marshfield-Columbus.
Procedure will be declined as they give him 1 yard to the 22. 2nd and 9 to the 20 at the 22-yard line for the Dons as Rob Wagner got a couple of yards. Play calling taking a while for Columbus. Tom Kraus comes in, Kevin Kennedy out. Kraus will give the play to Bryan Morgan.
I think I would have taken that 5 yards that time, but let's see what happens.
Down this deep in your territory, I would think you would too. 2nd and 8. Morgan is back to pass. He's got plenty of time. Throwing it out over the middle. It's caught by Kelly Kennedy. Down on the 15-yard line, and he falls forward for a yard. And he's going to be close to the first down sticks again. Kelly Kennedy. Probably got a face full of mud down there, but he picked up good yardage. And he's signaling first down, but it's kind of hard for us to tell from our vantage point here exactly if he has it or not. And again, we're going to have a measurement. So the ball must be very close to the 13-yard line.
Well, we're going to find out real quickly here. Did they find a line?
Well, he's a little bit short. Short by a foot or so. 3rd and 1, let's say, from the 13, from the 14.
Or thereabouts.
So, big play coming up for the Dons as they would like to keep this drive going and get another score in the books here.
As I mentioned before, it's a big game for both teams.
And Radlinger up the middle, plenty of distance for the first down to the 10-yard line. John Radlinger picks up the first.
Mentioned before, it's a big game for both teams. Both teams are tied for first place for all practical purposes. Neither team has lost. And Marshfield-Columbus will have 2 more games after this one, and LaCrosse 1. But the winner probably will get a chance to play in a state independent league tournament.
1st and 10, just outside the 10-yard line. They look like they're about a half yard short of the 10, so they would be able to pick up a first down if it comes to that, down short of the goal line. Olson, the wingback on the right side. Morgan will hand it off to Radlinger. John cutting back, and he picks up a couple of yards to about the 8. As the holes are there, but Aquinas, with excellent pursuit, is able to fill those holes in a hurry, and the Columbus backs just cannot pick up big yardage. 3 yards on the play for Radlinger down to about the 8-yard line. 2nd and a long 7.
Well, the yardage is starting to pick up a little bit here now. Radlinger's got himself 40 yards, and there's 32 yards for Wagner. Of course, that's not what Wagner normally gets, but they've been keying on him pretty much throughout the game.
Wing back again on the right side is Larry Olson. Brian Morgan will hand it again to Radlinger, running up the middle, and John's got pretty good yardage. Down close to the 5-yard line before he's shoved back. And it'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go there for the Dons. 3rd and 4 for Columbus. Down on the 5-yard line. Clock moving down inside of 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
They have to keep this drive going here now.
3rd down. About 4 to go. In motion comes Larry Olson toward the near side. Rob Wagner got the call, and he was really hit. Down around the 3-yard line, and here comes Dick Stevens onto the field as the Dons are short. 4th and 3 from the 3.5-yard line, and it'll be a field goal attempt coming up.
It's almost like an extra point, but let's just get it.
Let's get those 3 points on the board here. Dick Stevens will kick it from the 10-yard line, making it a 20-yard attempt. Brian Morgan will hold. It will be an angle from the left hash mark for Stevens. Good snap. The set is a good one. The kick is right through the middle. Good by Stevens. 54 seconds remain in the 3rd period. It's Columbus 11, Aquinas nothing.
Members of the Marshfield Sportscasters Club include Badger Fixtures Incorporated, Highway 13 North, manufacturers and designers of custom bar, bank, and restaurant fixtures. Let them put your ideas on paper. Bird Trophies, manufacturers, designers, and engravers of trophies and awards for all occasions. Masters at the art of saying congratulations. Casa Loma, famous for family dining, serving daily specials noon and evenings, cocktail hour, and banquet facilities. Come and enjoy. The Marshfield JCs, a constructive, active organization of young men who devote a portion of their time to community service and the public interest. And Peterson Brothers for complete landscaping, bulldozing, trucking, excavation, and grading service.
Back at Field Stadium, Dick Stevens has it teed up on the 40, and he will kick it up.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it's taken by Peterson center deep. He's up to the 20, 25, good speed, out to the 30. Breaks it to the outside, now tries to cut back, and he's slammed down as he got to the 42-yard line. But what a return by Joe Peterson.
He ran into a couple of his own people that wouldn't get out of his way, otherwise he may have gone all the way. And I don't know what happened to that, the right side of the Marshfield-Columbus defense, but you just weren't there on the coverage on that play.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line for Aquinas. Blue Golds trailing 11-0. They are down, but not out.
Well, they're at that bad part of the field, too, where it's hard to get any traction, so We'll see what they're going to do now.
Tom Finn, the sophomore quarterback, is in there. He will option it to the left, pitches it back, and Petronic is shoved out of bounds after a very short gain, if anything.
He seems to be stumbling out there all the time. Now, I don't know if that's his natural gait or what, but he's doing it all the time, so maybe that's the way he runs.
Could be, but it sure looks awkward.
Yes, it does.
2nd and 10. No gain on the play. 26 seconds to go. Clock is stopped as he got out of bounds. We're in the 3rd period. 11-0 Dons. Finn will give it off to Petronic, his fullback, who slipped before he got the handoff. John Rodlinger burst through and made the tackle for a 1-yard loss back on the 40-yard line. Rodlinger with a fine defensive play, and the Dons defense really came to play here tonight.
Well, apparently what's happened is that the Marshfield-Columbus guys have learned how to work with this mud, this soft ground a little bit better than LaCrosse has thus far.
That's going to be the final play of the 3rd period, and our score after 3, Marshfield-Columbus 11, LaCrosse-Aquinas nothing.
Members of the Marshfield Sportscasters Club include Dick Cooper Glass, 108 East 3rd Street, complete glass service, mirrors, auto, residential, and commercial. The Marshfield Athletic Club, an organization devoted to the promotion and development of recreation activities for all types, for all people. Berg Pontiac, 539 South Central, home of the famous Pontiac. Bob's Appliance Service, 500 South Birch, Marshfield. Appliance trouble? Call Bob Beckes at Bob's Appliance Service. He'll return it to working condition at a cost that's reasonable. Mercury Vending and Amusement with quality equipment and prompt service for over 15 years.
Well, Aquinas is going to have Mike Laird at quarterback as we start the 4th period. A 3rd and 11. Laird has a very strong arm. He's back to pass. A lot of time. Throws it out over the middle, and it is caught by Smith. Smith makes the catch at the Columbus 47-yard line. First down for the Blue Golds. Boy, this Laird can really throw the football.
That ball was well thrown right in his hands, and Smith did catch it, did a nice job of catching that ball.
I'll mark him down at the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 for LaCrosse-Aquinas. These are the defending conference champs, and they won't give up that crown very easily. Mike Laird, 165-pound senior, the quarterback. And he will hand it off to Peterson, trying the right side. Joe picks up a couple of yards, down to the 44.
That's their first down in the 2nd half.
Well, the Columbus defense has done just a tremendous job slowing down a very fine offensive team. They've been averaging over 300 yards a game. And now Laird goes out, Finn comes back in.
Well, this Columbus first string plays defense like probably one of the better defensive teams you've seen in this part of the country here, Joe. They're all over that ball. They're swarming all the time.
And Finn is back to pass. Good time, and he's in trouble now as the Dons defense caves in that pocket and brings him down at the 47-yard line. From the outside, Larry Olson, Pat Krause from the inside. And it'll be 3rd down and about 11. And in comes Laird again.
Well, he's setting the plays in with the quarterback. I don't know if he figures on saving some time by doing that or what. But he's confusing his own ball players more than he is Marshfield-Columbus, that's for sure.
I just think Laird's a better passer, and he's putting him in there in passing situations. Laird backs to pass, and he throws long out there, but it's overthrown, and it is knocked away by John Olson. The intended receiver was Jim Hagenbarth. And Aquinas now faced with a 4th and long, and they're going to kick it. 4th and 11 at the 47-yard line. 10:21 to go in the game. Don's leading it 11-0, and that field goal sure looks nice up there.
Sure does.
They're going to have to score a couple of times.
Well, this is their chance to put Marshfield deep in the hole, see what their punter does.
Cervais gets off a nice high kick, and that will bounce on the 15-yard line, and
nice
it'll go out of bounds around the 5. Oh, good kick. So now the Dons are going to have to be extra careful down there. And Cervais does his job.
Well, that was a 42-yard punt.
Columbus leading 11-0. back on the 5-yard line. It'd be nice to wedge out about a nice 95-yard touchdown drive here.
Why not?
Take up about 10 minutes on the clock. Columbus comes out with Brian Morgan at the quarterback position. Olson and Radlinger in the backfield behind him. Wagner the wingback. And the handoff goes to John Radlinger, trying the right side, and he's stopped after a very short gain, up to about the 7-yard line. If that. Well, no.
Probably haven't moved the sticks at all.
No gain. 2nd and 10, let's call it, from the 5. Well, Columbus would like to get a first down or two anyway to keep Aquinas from getting the great field position that they would probably enjoy if they're able to stop them down here. Up the middle again. John Radlinger doesn't pick up much.
Whole new crew coming in here.
About 3 yards on the pickup, as it'll be up 3rd and 8. Give him 2. Up to the 7-yard line. Third down. And
a lot of new offensive linemen went in there just now.
And they're going to kick it on 3rd down. Brian Morgan back to punt, trying to catch Aquinas napping. Gets off a low line drive kick, takes a Columbus roll at the 35-yard line, out to the 40 and the 41 or 2-yard line before it's knocked down by Larry Olson, and that's where Aquinas will take over at the 42. So on 3rd down, the Dons deep in their own end decide to kick it away. 8:58 to go, and the Blue Golds have the football back.
You know, with the backs that they got, they could bust out and get those 7 or 8 yards most any time. I'm surprised that we do that.
Laird is the quarterback. No, it's Finn. Finn back to pass, throwing it out, and it's tipped and caught. And going out of bounds. No, he did not have it. He never did hang on to that ball. Petronic, the intended receiver, juggled it.
Well, then one of the Marshfield defenders come past and was also juggling it, and juggled it right out of bounds.
Oh. 2nd and 10. 2nd down, 10 yards to go for LaCrosse-Aquinas.
Still in there.
Finally, the flanker back.
Well, this man looks like he's about 6'2", 6'3". He's an awfully tall boy. And he maybe gets a better position of being able to see where everybody is down that field, too.
Looks like he's got a stronger arm, too. So it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, he's alternating the quarterbacks now on every play. And sending him right into a zip play.
Well, I don't know about that strategy.
Tire him out.
Yeah. Finn, the sophomore, is in this time, and he's dropping back to pass. A little bit of pressure, throws it out long. He's got him out open. Oh, boy. Higgenbarth would like to dig a hole and just hide for a while. He had the ball all by himself at the 15-yard line. I think he might have stumbled as it arrived, and oh, boy, it just couldn't hang on to it.
On that particular play, John Olson tried to go for the interception, and he misjudged that completely. That ball just sailed over his head. He didn't even come close to having his fingers on it. And it could have been 7 points for sure.
Well, it's 4th down. Aquinas is going to have to kick it. They fake it. The fullback Peterson tries to pick the ball up. It's loose.
Makes no difference. It's our ball.
That's right. Columbus comes up with it. Kelly Kennedy recovers on the Aquinas 45-yard line. They tried the fake kick, tried to snap it to the fullback, and Peterson never had his hands on it. So the Dons take over at the 45-yard line.
Well, that also hurts his average.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's not concerned about that. 8:15 to go. Columbus with the football at the 45-yard line. And now Aquinas been playing so strong defensively all night. But right now they got to feel a bit down about the way things are going for them. Maybe the Dons can cash in for a quick score here. Rob Wagner sweeping to the right. And he's going to be hammered out of bounds at the 43-yard line.
Flag on a play, and I got to again believe where it was thrown. There might be a hold on this one.
It's an awful quick flag. And they're going to talk to the Aquinas captain, Xander. And let's see what this is about. It's going to go against Columbus. And No indication as to what the infraction might have been.
5 yards. Okay, procedure again.
Boy, these Blue Goals just hit. Robbie Wagner was really pounded out of bounds. First and 15 at midfield for Columbus. Brian Morgan brings him up. And he will hand it off to Wagner. And Robbie never got started as he stumbled. And was lucky to hang on to the ball, really.
Right in the middle of that field, and you're not going to do too much there whatsoever.
Loses a couple back to the 48-yard line. Second and about 17 yards now for the Dons. And a long second and long situation. You wonder if Columbus is going to throw the ball, or will they just run it a couple of times?
Well, you got 7.5 minutes here to go, and another first down would not hurt them too much.
And they'll sweep it to Wagner, coming to the right, Robbie to midfield, and down to the Aquinas 47-yard line before he's brought down. That's a play that Columbus has not run too much tonight.
Well, they can't get out of that mud. And once he got on that grass portion of the field again, he's able to move pretty nicely.
Well, it'll bring up a third down at about 11. The Aquinas 47-yard line. And importantly, the clock keeps moving. We're down under 7 minutes remaining in this game. The Dons on top, 11-0. A safety, a touchdown, and a field goal.
Well, a little bit of everything. Touchdown was a touchdown pass, a 42-yard touchdown pass.
Morgan back to pass, throwing it long downfield, and it's caught by Kevin Kennedy down on the 27-yard line.
He was being bumped for about 5 yards, too, and no flags being called on it. He just kept on backing up, and the kid behind him, defender, wouldn't let him get there, but he's so big and strong, he just took the ball in and did it.
Chris Cervais covering for Aquinas, but they could have flagged him about 4 times.
Sure could have.
First and 10 at the 26 for Columbus. And
that's a big first down.
Well, Walt Kroll's got to like the looks of things right now. 6:15 to go. Listening to Don's football on WDLB Marshfield. Morgan on the quarterback draw will work his way forward for a yard or two, as that didn't fool too many people.
No, but you've got some better ground there, too, and they're going to have better traction. They're going to be able to run a little bit better because of that.
Tackle was made by Mike Mitchell, or Pat Thompson. And it's 2nd and 8 down at the 24-yard line. But again, every time the ball is snapped, it's 25 or 30 seconds off of that clock when they keep it on the ground.
That's right.
And that's really the important thing here, as long as Columbus has the ball. Second down, about 9 yards to go. Morgan takes his snap and will hand it off to Wagner, and Rob's it in the backfield. Dropped at the 28-yard line, so a loss of about 4 yards on the play. It'll bring up a third and 12 at the 28.
Well, Wagner's had his troubles, and I think they've got 2 or 3 boys keying on him. Every time he gets that ball, there's somebody around him, so he's got trouble getting out. Of course, the ground again. We keep on talking about that. Maybe we shouldn't, because both teams are playing on it, and the Marshfield-Columbus has learned to work with it a little bit better than the Aquinas team has.
Well, I think it has been a factor in this game, because it's hampered the offenses. Morgan is going to be sacked. Is coming from the blind side was the right defensive end for the Blue Goals, and that's Mike White, and he sacks Morgan back on the 42-yard line.
He never had a chance. He turned around and saw him there, and he pulled that ball in so he wouldn't fumble.
And a 4th and 26 situation. Good time to punt it away. Ball on the 42. Aquinas sends 2 receivers back. We're under 4.5 minutes to go in this game. Brian Morgan will kick. Aquinas needs a big play to try and turn something around here. Good snap. Morgan, plenty of time, gets the kick away, an end-over-end boot, and it's dropped by Connolly down around the 10-yard line, and he dives on it to make sure that his team will maintain possession. But again, very poor field position for Aquinas, right where the Columbus Dons want him. They've got to have the ball, give it to them inside their 10. And they have it at the 7-yard line.
Joe, I think this game is all wrapped up at this time. Pretty hard for them to score twice in 4 minutes.
Well, let's talk when the clock reads 3 zeros, but I think you got to like the way things are looking right now.
You got 93 yards to go for a touchdown, and it's pretty hard for them to get to them, and they need to.
Finn, the quarterback, straight drop back, plenty of time to throw. Now he's running out of time, and he's going to be dropped back in the backfield around the 3-yard line. Pat Krause, Eric Fehrenbach, and I believe Kevin Hammond in on the tackle.
2-yard line.
I'm thinking Larry Olson, the third man in there, and the 2. And it'll be second 15 yards to go for the Aquinas Blue Golds. The defending conference champs going down at the hands of the Columbus Dons. And this time, Mike Laird, the senior, will be the quarterback, and he's back to pass, throwing it quickly over the middle. It's caught by Smith. Smith makes the reception up by the 8-yard line or so, and he's dropped immediately by 3 or 4 navy blue-clad Columbus Dons. Rederath and John Rodlinger leading the charge there. Let's get him to the 10-yard line, a pickup of 8, but 3rd and 7 is coming up for LaCrosse-Aquinas. Under 3 minutes to go, and we'll keep a real close eye on that clock for you. John Olson, the safety for the Dons, is back on the 32-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 10.
Well, he's not going to let anything get past him.
I would say not. Finn back to pass. Plenty of time again. Now he's going to have to run out of the pocket. He'll keep it himself. And he's out to about the 10 or 12-yard line before he's brought down, but well short of the first down again. And on comes the blue gold punt unit.
Well, this Marshfield-Columbus defense has just been tremendous. They've held this team to minus yardage the second half.
4th and 4 from the 12 situation. And Cervais in to do the kicking. And this time it is indeed a punt. He got off a real nice kick. It'll bounce on the 45-yard line. Kevin Kennedy will watch it roll dead at midfield. A minute 45 to go. And this crowd should give the defense a tremendous round of applause as they come off the field. Ball will be marked right on the 50-yard line, and that's where the Dons will take over. As a minute 40 remains as the clock is moving. People doing an Irish jig.
A what?
Del Connolly, what did you expect?
Oh, well.
A lot of happy folks in Marshfield tonight.
Well, now do you think we could get up the cigars?
I think so. Brian Morgan will hand it off. Rodlinger trying to get to the outside, and John does. He's to the 45, down to the 40-yard line before he's tripped up. As making the tackle there for the
Blue first down, too. 10 yards. Nice run by John. He got up to the outside and then just outran him.
Just a matter of running out the clock now. Dons with the football. Aquinas in no hurry to stop it. Cheerleaders coming down, getting the fans excited as they stand up. Standing O for the Columbus Dons. As the team now realizes it. A lot of index fingers in the air. That's the truth. Under a minute to go. Morgan will hand it off to John Rodlinger up the middle, down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Rodlinger for 6. And this crowd is just going crazy.
Well, they can see a conference championship at this game, and they also can see the possibility of going to state. And the kids, you can be proud of these kids. They've done a good job all season long. They've played together and worked together. And, of course, you've seen this group come along over the past couple of years. And you knew you were going to have a good team this year, but you just don't know how good until the game's actually being played.
One more play. Brian Morgan will hand it off to John Radlinger, and John spins for a couple down to the 32-yard line. 10 seconds left.
That's it.
And the Columbus Dons fans will just count this one down. That is it. It's all over. The Columbus Dons take it 8 in a row as they defeat the LaCrosse-Aquinas Blue Goals in a tremendous football game at Field Stadium. Final, Columbus 11, LaCrosse-Aquinas nothing.
Columbus High School football has been presented by the many members of the Marshfield Sportscasters Club. Our post-game show is coming up next on WDLB. The post-game show. I'll look back at today's game with highlights and statistics. Sponsored in part by the Central Wisconsin Coin Company, Marshfield Book and Stationery, Fiege's Incorporated, and Miller Glass and Sport.
Tremendous scene here at Field Stadium as all kinds of people out on the field hugging football players. Brian Morgan hugging his head coach Walt Kroll as the Columbus Dons have won the big one, beating LaCrosse-Aquinas here tonight by a score of 11-0. A tremendous defensive struggle in the first half. The Dons got a safety, a 42-yard touchdown pass, and a field goal of 20 yards in the third period to win it by a score of 11-0. And we'll replay the scoring highlights for you and check the stats in just a minute.
There's an understanding feeling when you get to share a smile. It's like touching hands together, reaching out. There's an understanding family feeling all the way along. Join your credit union, that's where you belong. That's where you belong.
You get the highest interest paid on your savings when you save at the Thorogood Credit Union next to Swanson's Furniture, downtown Marshfield. Save at Thorogood and watch your earnings multiply. And be sure to inquire about the up to $2,000 in life insurance you could be eligible for at the Thorogood Credit Union in Marshfield. It's where you belong.
Join your credit union, that's where you belong. That's where you belong.
Back at Field Stadium, the place has started to quiet down just a bit, but what a tremendous victory and a tremendous football game we have seen here tonight. The Dons winning it by a score of 11-0. Let's replay the scoring highlights for you. The first break came very early in the third period when Aquinas on their first possession was starting out at the 3-yard line. It just could not move the ball. They ended up with a 4th and 12 at the 1-yard line, and they're backed up against the end line on the punt attempt, and here's what happened. A safety, a high snap over the head of the punter. He had no chance.
If we get the ball through now, they punt from the 20-yard line.
The safety gave Columbus a 2-0 lead. Then Aquinas, of course, had to kick the ball to Columbus. The Dons took over at the 42-yard line. And on the very first play, Columbus got on the board again. Wing right, Larry Olson. Morgan back to pass. A little bit of pressure. He's throwing long down there for Kevin Kennedy, and it is caught. He's going to score. Touchdown. Kevin Kennedy caught the ball at the 10-yard line. He battled Joe Peterson for it. Kennedy came up with it and took it in. And the extra point by Stevens was not good, but the Dons at that point led 8-0 as Lightning struck in a hurry. The Dons then scored again later on in the third period on their next drive as they took the ball on the Aquinas 34-yard line, marched it down to the 4-yard line. We're on a 4th down. Columbus got 3 more from Dick Stevens. Dick Stevens will kick it from the 10-yard line, making it a 20-yard attempt. Brian Morgan will hold. It'll be an angle from the left hash mark for Stevens. Good snap. The set is a good one. The kick is right through the middle. Good by Stevens. 54 seconds remain in the third period. It's Columbus 11, Aquinas nothing. And that's the way it ended as the Columbus defense shut down Aquinas in the remainder of the ball game, as they did all night long. Columbus 11, Aquinas nothing. Mickey, as Jack Brickhouse would say, how about the happy totals?
Oh, gee. That second half was a big defensive struggle for Columbus, and they just did one fabulous amount of good work out there. They held them to 1 first down that second half, a -6 yards, a total for the game of just 35 yards for a team that's been doing 305 yards a game. And they got 35 yards for the game today. Just an outstanding game. Peterson, who during the course of the season has run up 489 yards, ends the game with 6 yards and 12 carries.
Wow.
And of course, he had that big 13-yard loss when they tried for that surprise, not the surprise punt, but tried to send the ball back to the fullback trying for a first down. But it just didn't work. He fumbled the ball and he lost 13 yards on that. Petronic, who's got 363 yards for the season, had a total of 15 yards and 9 carries. Finn carried the ball 7 times with a -15. So you can see what's happened as far as the rushing is concerned. Rushing-wise, total-wise, they had 6 yards of rushing for the game. 29 yards of passing on 3 completions and 16 tries. They had 9 punts for a 32-yard average. They've had the 2 different boys throwing passes, and really neither one of them were too effective, and yet some of those balls could have been caught, were not. Now for Marshfield and their offense. Offense picked up in the second half. They got 122 yards in the second half compared to 50 in the first half for a total of 172 yards. 74 of which was on a rushing and 98 passing. So they've had a very good game from that second half. Morgan had thrown 10 passes and completed 6 for a total of 98 yards. He had his troubles going back to pass, and he was sacked about 3-4 times, and he came out with a -24 as far as the ground game is concerned for himself, but that passing was just outstanding. The passes were thrown to the Kennedy twins, Kelly catching 3 for 29 yards, and Kevin 3 for 69 yards, including that 42-yard touchdown pass. 7 punts for a 34-yard average for Morgan. Redlinger had a nice night, 17 carries, 63 yards. Wagner carried the ball 16 times and just could not get out of that backfield. He's being keyed on all the way through the game. He had 34 yards. All in all, Columbus fumbled the ball twice, and Aquinas also fumbled the ball twice. But it was a well-played game by Columbus. They had controlled the game throughout. You had the feeling they're going to win the game, and they did. Congratulations to Walk Crow. They've got to win 2 more games to ensure themselves of the victory. But now they got 1 game on Aquinas, and they've got 2 games on McDonald and 2 games to play. And boy, oh boy, now it's up to his own guys to do it their own way.
All right, back with more on our post-game show in a minute.
Keep
keep your valuables safe and at hand in your home with a safe from Marshfield Book and Stationery, downtown Marshfield. Myling safes are strong and come in both wall and floor models. Why worry about your valuables when they can be right at hand in your home? Stop into Marshfield Book and Stationery, and don't forget their office equipment and supplies. Marshfield Book and Stationery has all the office equipment you need. Whether you have a small office or a large one, Marshfield Book and Stationery has the office equipment to fit that need. For your convenience, they're located in downtown Marshfield. For everything from desks to pencil holders, Marshfield Book and Stationery has it. And to keep your valuables safe in either home or office, contact them. That's Marshfield Book and Stationery, downtown Marshfield. They also carry an excellent selection of all of your Halloween and other holiday decorations and supplies. Shop at Marshfield Book and Stationery for office, home, and leisure supplies. Marshfield Book and Stationery, downtown Marshfield.
There we are. Again, the news is good tonight at Beal Stadium as Columbus defeats LaCrosse-Aquinas by a score of 11-0. Don's now 8-0 on the year and on top of the CWCC with a 4-0 record. Aquinas drops to 4-1 in the CWCC. They are 7-2. Make it 6-2 overall now on the season. The Dons next in action Saturday night against Eau Claire Regis on the road. Regis still looking for their first win going into this weekend. They're playing Oshkosh Lourdes tonight. No word on how that game came out, but the Dons have that one to look forward to next Saturday night. Again, the final score tonight, Columbus 11, LaCrosse-Aquinas nothing. And for Mickey Horvath, I'm Joe Orella. Good night, everyone.
Our post-game show was sponsored in part by the Thorogood Credit Union, Marshfield Savings and Loan.